Hi, I'm Jim Bearden, and this is Leadership at the Points of Contact, a series of short videos that I've developed to help you become more effective in the roles you play as an organizational leader. In the first section of the program, we looked at one of those roles, which is to consciously create cultures that reinforce and support behaviors essential to organizational success. In this section of the program, we're moving on to the second role, and that is to expand and enhance employee engagement. And all I mean by that is employee participation in what you consider to be crucial organizational processes. Now, this notion of employee engagement is really a hot topic today. If you do any reading of business literature or websites, no doubt you've run across descriptions of the challenges that we face with the Gen Y people or the Gen X people, and us boomers, of course, are old news. But the challenge seems to be, how do we get these people engaged? Today's workforce is really diverse. If you stop and think about it, your workforce and everybody else's of any size is a collection of individuals. And each of these individuals comes to the table with their agenda, their individual agenda. They come to the table maybe with a gender, racial, or even generational agendas. They have their personalities, their preferences, their communication styles. There are differences, and key among those would be the generational differences that we hear so much about. Instead of rushing to memorize all of the things that are currently being described by authors and bloggers about how to get Gen Y, Gen X people engaged, instead of memorizing all of these do's and don'ts, maybe it would be a good idea for us to focus our attention on what are the things that we need to do to lead a diverse workforce. And I think a historical perspective can help us with that. Deep breath time. Workforces have always been diverse. Are you ready for that? There have always been multi-generational representatives in the workforce, and successful organizations historically have been led by people who somehow found a way to transcend these generational and other differences, to transform individuals and factions into functional teams. Effective leaders have always found ways to engage their employees, and I am convinced that their basis for moving forward in their efforts to do that are based on beliefs about people, beliefs that we talked about in a previous lesson, that apply whether it's Boomer, Gen X, Gen Y, or whatever. Those beliefs are, one, most people want to make a difference. They want to be contributing members of successful organizations. They want to make heroic choices. They are willing to step up and speak up and listen up and take reasonable risks in response to effective leaders. Effective leaders bridge another gap, and that's a gap between leadership theory and leadership behavior. And the leadership theory that comes to mind is an old adage. We've all heard it. Know your people. Heard that one before? Know your people. Good theory. What is the behavior? The behavior that we're going to dissect in the upcoming few lessons takes know your people to a different level. Understand and deliver the value your people are seeking. Or as I describe it, understand their definitions of value. Here are some action items for you regarding this lesson. Using my two examples of employee engagement, performance improvement and process improvement, do your own employee engagement evaluation in your organization. Your current performance appraisal or evaluation process. How often are evaluations done? Who does them? Who facilitates the performance evaluation process? And what roles are employees asked to perform or to play in those evaluations? And your current process improvement processes. Start by making a list of what you consider to be your most crucial organizational processes, the things that employees do that have the most impact on your organization's success. Describe the methodologies you use for evaluating and making changes to those processes. Describe the roles employees play in that process. Remember, the action items are part of these lessons for a very specific reason. And that reason because they give you an opportunity to adapt and apply what we've covered to your leadership opportunities. And I hope you take advantage of that.